team from Africa, but it's not a bad international lineup, is it?
I agree. This is awesome to see, and this is going to be a very tight race as well. This girls C2 500, the heats were great to watch this morning. A few of these boats just missing out on the finals. I don't mind the look of like the Ukrainians, like you said before, and the Germans as well. And I think the US girls might have just snuck into the final last weekend by memory. I think we had a 10-boat final with a photo finish in the semi-final. So watch out for them as well. They're on the rise as they start to get a little bit more experience under their belts. But there's the Germans. They're looking nice and strong as they lead out in that beautiful pink boat. I love pink. Pink's my favorite color, so I'll always sneakily cheer for the pink paddlers, that's for sure. And that's the US girls there. They're in lane 6 in the yellow boat. So top 3 neck and neck at the moment. That's lane 4, 5, and 6. Germany, Ukraine, USA, as we start to come in towards the 250-meter mark, and the girls are really start to put in the work now and really move into the back end of the race.
So the Americans giving plenty of cheek there, up there challenging for the lead. The Ukrainians just getting their nose in front now, and then the Germans back there in 3rd position. So the top 3 will progress to the final. The Ukrainians now starting to get the work done. They're digging deep here. They're showing us what they're capable of. We missed them last week, but they're out here today, and they look like they're going to book themselves a ticket into the women's C2 500 final. They have a good history in this race. Not this pairing, though. But it'll be good to see Ukraine in the final. The Americans, I think, are going to get through to another final, which will be a great result for this young crew from the United States. Great excitement ahead of Los Angeles. And the Germans now clearly sitting in 3rd position. A little bit of a surprise, the Polish crew sitting back there. They're going to miss the A final, I think, which is a little bit of a surprise. But again, a new combination, so they've got a bit of work to do. But there we have Ukraine first, almost a dead heat for second between Germany and the United States. It doesn't matter. They're both going to get through safely to the final, and they will be paddling for gold a little bit later this weekend in the women's C2 500. But the Ukrainians looked pretty impressive, did what they needed to do, made their move at the halfway stage when the race was there for the taking, and did not look back from there. So Valerie Tereta and Iriana Fedorov through to the final. Good racing all around.
Absolutely, and you can just see at the back of that shot there how bumpy the water is and how difficult the conditions are today, and the girls handled it beautifully in this race. So the Germans had the better of the start there. They just snuck out, but it was the Ukrainians that really got into their work, and they had a nice low stroke rate and were getting the power down. They both paddle on the same side, so a little bit different to the other girls in the race, and maybe a little bit more difficult to steer as well. But some clinical racing by them. Very tight for second. I think maybe the Germans, but like you said, it doesn't really matter. Second or third, they both go through, the Germans and the US paddlers. And no doubt about our winners, the Ukrainian girls coming through there. And like you said, disappointing not to see them at the World Cup last weekend, but very good to see them back on the international stage this weekend and taking out the semi-final win. And they'll be happy to get through to that final. I'm sure they're also very excited to get to the pontoon and have a little bit of a rest after that race, because obviously it's very exerting, but it's also nerve-wracking as well. So it's always nice to have a sit down on the pontoon and a drink of water as well. So there we go. Ukraine in first, US girls in second, and the German girls there in third. So 0.03 between second and third, which is very, very tight.